No problem can be solved at the same level of consciousness that created it. And I think that can play true so well in our fitness industry. I think a lot of us are still out there grinding at the same problem at that same level that caused that problem. Trying to figure out, why do my shoulders hurt? Why does my back hurt? Why do my knees hurt? As we continue doing the same exercises over and over again, that caused it. That's what I really appreciate with how we look at things here at Fitness Lying Down, is that we think about different ways to solve those problems. We don't fix people. We have solutions to create better for people. And that's what people want, is they want to be better. They don't want these pains. And a big part of that whole better is how actually do we focus at core training. Pretty popular. I think nowadays everybody knows about core training. They know kind of what the core is. I think a lot of people, left to their own, might be able to give you one or two of the muscles that are part of the core. But there are some people out there who talk about the fact that there are 35, maybe even over 35 muscles that create the whole core musculature. But we find a lot of trainers and a lot of gyms, they treat core training as a separate issue. Right? It's an isolated event. We're going to put you on the ground and we're going to have you do ab crunches. And you know our feelings about ab crunches at Fitness Lying Down. We're going to have you do oblique crunches. We're going to have you do planks. We're going to have you do some side planks. Right? But they never really focus on the intent of those movements. They just think about the task. We're just going to get it done. We're just going to accomplish that movement, move on to the next thing. When we think core training at Fitness Lying Down, this is where we take that different level. We're not working at the same level of consciousness. We're thinking about the integrated approach to core training. So we want to be able to move people through their core. And I think that's where people get it wrong, is there's a severe disconnect between our brain and our body. A lot of people will talk about posture and weak cores because of tight muscles, right? They're thinking the fact that sitting, that's where we hear it all the time, sitting is a big problem. And they think because I sit so much, my posture becomes bad, I create tightness in some muscles, weakness in the others, and I say they're half right. I think what we missed the boat on is that when we sit in these chairs for long periods of time, it's an artificially stable environment. And your body is so smart, your brain is so smart, that if it doesn't have to use a muscle, it won't. It's efficient. So when you're sitting for prolonged periods of time, stabilized in these artificial environments, your brain starts saying, all right, Corey, you don't need to work anymore because we're stabilized. And that deconditions your core. Even worse yet is that we have a disconnect from our core to our brain. And I was asked the other day, what makes Fitness Lying Down different from other gyms? And I really think what sets us apart, actually, I don't even think, I know what sets us apart is the fact that we tap into the neural system like no other gym. We're not worried about getting through the task. We're not worried about burning calories. We're not worried about getting tired and sweaty. We're worried about reconnecting, making people better movers so they can experience the benefits outside of the gym. Right? Being gym strong doesn't mean much. Being life strong, being ready for the real world activities, that's where the rubber hits the road, and that's where we set people apart in our training. And that's why we don't do all our sessions and say, hey, you know what? We're going to spend the next 5 minutes doing our ab workouts. So when we create these opportunities for our clients to get better, and that's what we're doing, again, we're not fixing people, we're making people better. Core training is not about necessarily creating forces. Anybody can create forces. I can create enough force to push a barbell. I can create enough force to move across the room. The question is, when it comes to really reactive core training, is are you able to resist forces? Because when you move, there are so many other things in this world that are trying to move you, and you have to maintain the integrity of your core function so that you can keep your posture, keep your position, and more importantly, keep your strength as you move. And that's what we do at Fitness Lying Down. It's a really cool thing, very magical, but there's science behind that magic. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is your best. You're welcome. All right.